Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for another round of Mind Your Fucking Business with your host, Jeffrey Rentzman.
Thank you, Dougie Sticks. Coming to you as always from the beautiful studios of Undefeated Media here in Bergen County, New Jersey. This is the Mind Your Fucking Business podcast brought to you by our friends and sponsors at the Bamboozle Project as well as DraftKings. Go to the Bamboozle Project. That is all one word for those that are shopping on the site as we speak. TheBamboozleProject.com. Use promo code MYPB at checkout and you will save yourself a whopping 20% off your order. Not just like a little measly discount there for you. You get a really solid discount for yourself. This is episode 204, Doscientos Cuatro, so we welcome you if you're using the SAP features available to you this morning or whenever you're streaming this episode 204. We are taping it live the morning of October 8th, Wednesday, so you know where we are in time. You can watch the show live this morning, interact with us on both the YouTube platform. We have those comments going on a huge screen that we have in front of us. You can't see that on the camera, but we do see your YouTube comments. And you can also do that on the Instagram, on Instagram. I don't know. Are we live on Instagram today, Doug? I don't know that we are. I don't think we are at the moment. You can look into that. It went. It just went live. That was not rehearsed for those that was not rehearsed. So you can listen to us there and you can stream the podcast at your convenience at any time on Spotify as well as Apple Podcasts. So, all right. I want to start off by saying this. So when the schedule came out back in July, and instantly I saw that the first game was on a Tuesday night. I didn't love it because I knew we're on Wednesday mornings and I'm like, oh, we got to be on the day after the first game, which means, overreaction one way or another. And when you only have one game to evaluate of your season, what are you going to do? You're going to put all your apples in a basket and evaluate that one game. Yeah. Let me start here with last night. And I said this in the post-game recap that I did. I feel really bad. Like I actually felt really bad watching the game for the people that went last night. The home opener, it has never been my jam ever. Like I'll go to it, but I don't ever like go out of my way to go to the home opener. But there is usually an energy that is around. It's the start of a new season. It was an 8:00 game. So if you're into partaking in the, pregame activities at any of the watering hole establishments around MSG or whatever you do, you even had extra time. It was a national TV game. You've had the longest offseason you've had in years because you didn't make the playoffs. Like there was a lot of reason to try to be excited last night. And if you were going to the game, I would imagine your adrenaline is going in as you get in the building, new coach, yada, yada, yada. Panarin's in, JT Miller's back, everything. And I just felt bad. And I didn't feel bad necessarily because they lost. You can sit through a loss. I just felt bad that for these people that were in the Garden last night, that they just had nothing to cheer about the whole night. And this is the home opener. And Rangers Ed was asking the last time they won a home opener. I actually went back last night and looked, and I was surprised. They won 2 years ago against Arizona. But before that, it's been a while. I feel like they always lose their home opener. So what I'm not going to do, I was surprised. Like I woke up this morning at 5:40 for whatever reason. I don't know. I don't even have an explanation for that. And I went on to Instagram and there were 29 DMs. And probably I would say 20 of them, maybe 2/3 were about, you've got to light them up on the show today. It's a perfect day for it to be on. And it's not what I'm going to do. There's a time and a place for that. That doesn't occur after one game of 82. I mean, if you step back for a minute here, it's an 82 game season. Also, last year, remember, they played the same team, okay, in Pittsburgh and won 6-0. So how did the rest of the season go after they won the first game 6-0? It didn't go well. So it's not always indicative how the first game goes, how your full season's going to go. And I don't really care how the first game goes. We're all about how they do the entire season. So I'm not going to go crazy, but let's point out a couple things from last night because we actually now, for the first time since our April shows, have in-game data to talk about and go through. All right. The cameras last night before the game started on I think it was the ESPN broadcast. I don't think it was MSG. They showed Mike Sullivan in the locker room talking to the team. Actually, it was because they then went to Oshie in the studio. And it showed him talking to the team about, feeding off the energy. The building's going to be electric. I think that was his quote. And the first shift last night was atrocious. I mean, the first minute, I look, my kids, my daughter in particular, likes to find humor in me getting annoyed watching games. It didn't take long last night because a minute into the game, I'm watching the Penguins cycle the puck deep and the Rangers can't get it. And I'm thinking to myself, what is going on? And Crosby had a good chance 10 seconds into the game that Igor, when you watch the replay, the commercial, got over really at the last second. I mean, they almost got scored on. The puck comes out of the defensive end finally about a minute into the game. A guy on Pittsburgh, one of the rookies that they were parading all night that he was going to be the next Moses, takes a stupid tripping penalty. Okay, well, there's your opportunity to take that first minute of horrificness and build something on the power play. And again, they don't really get anything going at all. With that power play, I'm going to close my eyes. I'm going to because I can feel my blood pressure is rising as I'm about to say what I'm about to say. Why is Matt Rempe on the power play? If Matt Rempe, if you need an indication as to how the season's going to go, if I see Matt Rempe, I'm just going to look forward. I'm not going to look at the comments because I see stuff coming up on the screen and I see it on Instagram too. If I have to watch this, I'm just staring at the wires, Doug, that's in front of us. If I have to watch Matt Rempe on the power play this season as like a kind of a, continuous thing, I'm going to have a real problem. Like I really am. I'm going to literally be very angry really, really quick. This is not going to take long for me to do.
Power play
and I understand
power play two.
And I understand. And I can see one of the comments, Rangers Ed, that he's a big body in front. And I get it. But if you're telling me that I don't have anyone else that's better on the roster to play on a power play than putting Big Matt Rempe in front of the goalie trying to screen him,
he's a man of the people.
I'm going to be annoyed.
He's a man of the people. Gets the people going.
So I'm watching. So the first period I'm watching with my wife.
Yeah.
There's about a minute left, and I never went back. I thought I wanted to do this. I still haven't done it. Someone can tell me the answer if you want, although it's just going to piss me off more. That someone on about 40 seconds left on the Rangers iced the puck. I said, as it happened to Jess, I said, why would you? I stopped what I was going to say because we're on the air. I said, why would you do that? You had no reason to ice the puck there and bring the faceoff down to our end, right? I mean, you could have easily got to the red line at center ice. There was no reason to ice the puck. You didn't have anyone on you. What happens? Off the ensuing faceoff, there's another quick faceoff, puck in our end, and they score. And that's really the only goal of the game. I don't care that they lost 3-0. They lost 1-0. 2 of the goals were empty netters. So just the stupidity to do that. The other thing last night was explained to me, and Dennis, who is in the chat right now, and I saw Dennis, and we were talking yesterday in the afternoon, and we said, look, a good bet would be on who's ever on goal in Pittsburgh. And Dennis and I were sitting there in the afternoon yesterday. I don't even know who the goalie is. Is it Tristan Jarry still? I don't even know. Pittsburgh, they're terrible. No, they played this other kid who was like 2-5 last year. And I said, you know what? The smart bet would be on the over on his total saves because he's playing the Rangers. It would be a Ranger thing to do. Now, he obviously stopped everything that came in front of him. However, when did the Rangers have a really good scoring chance? Was it Mika Zibanejad at the end of the second period when I kid you not here on this play. Go back and watch it because there's not a lot of highlights to watch. This would be one of them, I guess, because it was a scoring chance. He shoots it almost right into the Saros or whatever this goalie's name is glove.
Was this one of the 10 rebounds that we had to, or just Mika just had a one-timer?
Well, don't get me started with the Mika one-timers because that's going to actually annoy me. I'm going to wait till I get a little bit into the season again of the Mika one-timers. But I'm watching Mika Zibanejad come in, shoot it right in the glove. Lafreniere had 2 decent chances last night and didn't. One of them, I think he shot it almost at the Empire State Building on 33rd Street. It wasn't even close in the second period. And then in the third period, he had another chance where he walked in and literally shot it into the goalie's stomach. Like you and I would have saved it just by being there. All right. Then there was a play, and this is now you're down 1-0. And it's 5 minutes left, and the crowd just seems dead all night. And again, I'm thinking to myself, my God, all these people that are tagging us in pictures that are there that are sitting through this, thank God I'm not there. I mean, that's my only saving grace, is to live on other people's misfortune, and I feel bad, but that's how I'm trying to make myself feel better. Then, Carson Soucy. I've seen this guy's name pronounced a million ways. Is he Soucy? Is he Soucy? I don't care because he sucks, right? And whatever you want to say, he sucks. He actually made a play that the defenseman, whoever the Pittsburgh forward came out to try and dive. He made a great play to get around him, and then almost looked like he forgot how to skate. And I was like, he almost fell. It would be like if it was me on like my inline hockey game tomorrow night. So there was that. The Mika Zibanejad on the first period, he had a golden opportunity in front, but I don't know if he was gliding and turned around late and didn't realize the goalie was right in front of him and basically just put it at the goalie's glove. Like, I don't know. I don't know. I'm not going to go ballistic over one game. We'll analyze it as one game because that's all we have. But I look at this. I said this to I don't remember if I said it to my son or my daughter, one of them this morning while I was driving them to school. It's like fantasy football, right? It's the end of week one. Mm-hmm. You have your team. You have your hopes for your team. You can win your first week, and that doesn't mean you're going to win the Super Bowl. And as I know from playing many years, you can lose your first week and still not win the Super Bowl. Or you can even lose your first week and also then go on and win the Super Bowl. It's one game. As I said earlier, last year, they played Pittsburgh. They won the home opener, and you saw what happened the rest of the way. I'm not going to go crazy about it. Mike Sullivan after the game, I don't want to get on Laviolette or say he was great. It's just this thing in the past. There's no reason to talk about Laviolette. But Sullivan's quote after the game, I thought was so direct and just like no BS. And I'm going to say it as a quote. Quote, I think my first observation is we got a long way to go to become the team we want to become, end quote. And that was it. Like, if that doesn't synopsize the night, I'm going to read it again for you because maybe you just turned away for a minute. Again, quote, I think my first observation is we got a long way to go to become the team we want to become, end quote. And that would be spot on because to me, whatever this team's identity is going to be this year, and Mike Sullivan, that was another thing he said in the locker room before the game to them, was the whole thing about finding an identity. What is New York Rangers hockey? What is the identity we're taking? Well, last night better not be the identity. Because if last night is the identity, it's going to be a problem.
True. Yeah, there was no energy. It was not a first game. I've just come off season. I'm ready to go, get excited. This is 19. You could look this up. This is 1998, Columbus Day weekend. This is October. I could tell you the day, actually. I think it was October 9th, 1998. I was a freshman in college in Boston. I came home for Columbus Day weekend. Yeah. It may have actually been 1999. It was either 98 or 99. Mm-hmm. They played the Flyers in the home opener the weekend I was home. I convinced my parents to get tickets because I wanted to go, and it was the home opener, and I couldn't go to games anymore because I was literally in Boston. And I'm pretty sure there was nothing in that game. I think they lost 1-0 or 2-0. I could be wrong. We could look it up. Mm-hmm. There are things. There are ways to fact check this. And last night was reminiscence to that because I remember being at that home opener and being like, well, that was a real dud. Man, if you were there last night and, you probably spent however you get into the city, if you don't live in the city, mm-hmm. right? Maybe you pay for parking. Maybe you take the train, whatever it is. And then you spend money on food and everything at the Garden is so expensive. It's good $500 night. Easy.
I mean, my son now wants a pretzel and M&Ms, and it's $19.50. I mean, and the pretzel's also stale. I mean, it's not like it's a gourmet pretzel here. But you spend all this money and you're all jazzed up, and they have this blue carpet thing that they do. I just felt I actually genuinely, and I still do. I feel bad for the people that were tagging us in their photos all night and everything because I'm like
so excited, and then
you had nothing to cheer about. The power play looked atrocious. Now, JT Miller, after the game, said that, look, his legs felt heavy. As a reminder, he played in one game and then got hurt, and he hadn't really played since. So, he said after the game that he will get better. Artemi Panarin, who didn't play in a single preseason game. Now, you can get on
him for that if you want. I don't really care if you do or not, but I'm just going off factually. He didn't play in any games. You're not going to necessarily turn it on overnight and then all of a sudden be.
Well, then play some games, dude.
I don't know if he was hurt. I don't want to get into people playing in the preseason. It's the preseason.
Well, you got to
now. I had said, what did I say? You won't remember this, but one of the summer episodes we did, the few and far and in between that when we see each other in the summer, when you and I take our hiatus from each other. I had said, I know what it was, when we did the episode and we talked about the schedule coming out. And the only reason we talked about the schedule was because we have nothing else to talk about.
Okay.
Right? We're not going to talk about my son and his Chick-fil-A obsession again. So we talked about the schedule, and I said, look, they open with Pittsburgh, who's terrible. Then they go at Buffalo, who's terrible, and then they play Pittsburgh again. It should be the sort of thing where you get 5 points, at least. Now you're in a position where you can only get 4.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I'm not even upset as much about the score, which is only 1-0. The score is not 3-0. But I'm not upset about that as much as like the energy level and like the type of play that they put on. It's the first game of the season. You got to be excited.
So Dennis's comment, we'll put that up, the one at the bottom, B-Rock, which is no, the Rangers are terrible, not the Pens and Sabres. Time will tell on that. And Dennis was in the building last night. I look at it like this, all right?
Mm-hmm.
You have Buffalo tomorrow night, and you have Pittsburgh on Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
Once you get through that, you have Washington on Sunday night. I'm actually planning on going Sunday night, and you're on a back-to-back, but so is Washington. So you have Washington, Edmonton, Toronto, and Montreal.
Get some points before that.
You need.
Come on.
I shouldn't say you need because I'm drinking the Kool-Aid of panic, which I'm not going to do after one game. So I don't want to say you need points. However, it would be a good sign if you can get some points off of some of these teams.
You don't want to be 10 games in and have 0 freaking points, dude.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was last night. And again, and I just keep reiterating it because it keeps going into my head. I feel bad for the people that went last night.
Oh, speaking of.
No, we're not bringing that out. We're nowhere even near that.
Day one.
Day one. I want to ask a question, and we're going to get into the final roster analysis because we have to do that. That was actually first on the list today. Originally, we were going to go through the final rosters because we'd like to do things in like sequential order of time.
Yeah.
We were going to do the team announces the final rosters, and then we'll get in the home opener. But so many people are annoying me with the home opener. I just felt like we would do that first. We'll get into this in a minute, and I don't want to pick on a player from one night, so it's not what I'm doing. I'm not picking on him. I'm just simply going to ask a question, and maybe it's a question that I'm going to have to keep asking. I'm hoping it doesn't. What is the role of Taylor Radish here? Like, what? Again, it's one game. I'm not going to get that into it, but what is the role of Taylor Radish? We'll leave it at that.
All right.
So. I don't know if anyone has the answer because no one does, is my point. All right. The Rangers' final rosters are announced the other day. Noah Laba makes the team. I don't remember a year where I don't remember any player actually in recent years that people were such a huge proponent of making the team of someone that really no one really knew who he was weeks ago. And he made the team as he did. And actually, I thought he looked okay last night, especially on the forecheck. Noah Laba is a testament to just the old adage that you can actually go to a training camp, not be expected to make the team, and play your way into a spot because you played it and earned it via how you performed in both training camp and the preseason. So congratulations to him on making the team. Mm-hmm. Connor Sherry, I've been saying for weeks would make it. He's a third line left wing. He's I'm going to repeat this. Okay. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to repeat it. I'm going to say it twice. Connor Sherry is married to Mike Sullivan's niece.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's why he's on the team.
Connor Sherry, not only, but it helps. Connor Sherry is married to Mike Sullivan's niece. And if you're complaining like some of you were in the DMs to me this morning, what is he doing here? What else is the other option to what is the alternative to Connor Sherry? Mm-hmm. Do you want Gabe Perreault here? I mean, I've talked to you. I've said that I think Gabe Perreault should start the season in Hartford, right? You want Brett Berard here? Okay. I mean, I guess you could make that argument, but I don't know that it's like a slam dunk. So I don't know. I didn't have a problem with the rosters. Gabe Perreault and Scott Morrow sent down to Hartford on Friday. Really what it came down to was on the last day, it was who was going to get the last spot, which Noah Laba did. And Brett Berard was the one who was out. So
make him earn it.
Well, Berard, the one thing with Berard, and I'll say this with Othman, although I wouldn't say this as confidently with Othman as I would Berard, but I'll say this is they're both still young, right? They still have things that they can gain at the point they are in their career by playing in the AHL.
Mm-hmm.
And as Ed Maturko is saying, who is taking those minutes, which is really, if he's referring to what we were just talking about with Connor Sherry, I think a very fair question. So, all right. I'm going to open this up to other people. If anyone wants to bring up any other topics from last night in particular or the final rosters, I'm going to let you guys have at it because you guys were like unleashing on me this morning your complaints with the team. So if there's other things, Sean Coffey on Instagram, Gabe should only be up here in the top 6 role. That is absolutely correct, right? If Gabe Perreault is going to be here, and again, I don't think he should be here right now. I'd rather him be here and get top 6 minutes. I don't need him to sit here and play in the third line here when he can get better experience and more minutes playing in the AHL, which it seems like is the plan of management. Leonardo, Mika is so slow. 3 to 4 of the lines aren't even pro-worthy. Offense is abysmal. Going to be a really long year for Igor. Igor Shesterkin, Leonardo, I know this wasn't your point in the comment, but Igor Shesterkin last night looked good. Now, Pittsburgh is not going to give you a ton of high-quality chances against, but Igor stopped all that was faced his way except one, and it was it was a shot right in front of the net on a defensive letdown. Now, there was a player on Pittsburgh, I can't remember who it was. It was someone with a really weird last name, I think with a K, that hit the post in the second period, and it was off of the same thing where you had a defensive breakdown in front. No one picked up the man in front. So, I'm sure, let's see another one. So some people are agreeing with me about Radish being that he's a bum. Some people are saying Matt. I'm sure Radish will end up being great, although I have a feeling there was sarcasm in there. A couple people saying that they were there last night and it sucked. I feel, and again, I keep saying it, but I really feel bad. It is early though, right? It's like you can't. I don't want to. Well, we're not going to talk about baseball here, so I'm not going to use that. Football is not a good example. Let's talk about. We'll use the Knicks, right? There's a lot of people here that like the Knicks also because they share the same building. They're a co-tenant of the Garden, like the Rangers. The Knicks, same thing. It's a long season. Like you go through stretches. It's one game. Now, where would you panic? To answer a question that just came up, like at what point do you panic? You in this panic button, man. All right. Here's what I would do. Let's hope it doesn't come to this. Mm-hmm. We are on next Wednesday. So between now and next Wednesday, you have the Sabres tomorrow night. You have Pittsburgh Saturday. You have Buffalo. You have Washington Sunday. And you have Edmonton on Tuesday. That's 4 games. Mm-hmm. So that's a possible 8 points you could have. You have 0 points now. If you have less than 3 points, so out of your first 5 games where you could have 10, you have 3 or less.
We're already talking about the panic button.
No, I wouldn't. And you know what? I
still wouldn't.
I would be hesitant to use the panic button because then I got to deal with you playing with the lights here with this thing that you synced and creating headaches for myself.
Are we taking the panic button out of the box?
You can take it out of the box. I would say this.
Okay.
You need next week. Here's like the barometer what we're going to use. Next week when we're on Wednesday, October 15th, and next Wednesday's show now, we're going to have 4 games to go through. So there's going to be a lot, right? Mm-hmm. It's going to be a crazy show already as it is. If the Rangers are sitting there with 3 or less points, I would be I don't know that I would be I wouldn't be panicked, but I would sit there. I'd be a little concerned at the start.
We would be taking the panic button out of the box.
There's a Red Hot Chili Pepper song.
Yeah.
And you could look it up because it's on our thing from last year. The Rangers had a road trip last year at the beginning. I think it was the first week of November or the last week of October. And it was an original 6 road trip. They went to Montreal, Toronto, and Detroit. And they swept it. They went 3-0. And we posted a graphic, perfect road trip, whatever. And we played the song by Red Hot Chili Peppers. It shows you that like they were doing really well at the end of October last year and then went bad. You can have a bad October and then get well. Also, Mike Sullivan is a new coach. It's going to take time to get systems in place, especially when 2 of your top 6 guys, including your captain, JT Miller, played 1 preseason game, and Artemi Panarin didn't play at all.
Well, I think that's what the frustration is because no one's mad about the score. No one's mad about the systems. They're mad about the energy and lack of effort.
So a question from Ed Razzo on Instagram. When does Miller assert himself as a captain in light of fire? Well, I think if that question is off of last night, I'm not sure it's fair 1 game. I would say this again: if you are at 3 points or below next week when we're on, and you'll remind me next week that's the barometer, because if they're that bad, I'm going to be so annoyed next week that I will forget that, and you can remind me and make myself,
and you're going to press the button.
And you can make it worse for me, which I know you like to do sometimes. But JT Miller's not in a position yet. After 1 game, you don't. Again, they won 6-0 last year in Pittsburgh. And everyone thought, oh my, it's the same team as last year, the President's Trophy winning team. They're back. And then they came home against Utah on the Saturday night and lost.
It's just crazy that like, all right, we're
so
what is this 204?
Can I cut you off 1 second? Because someone Ed is saying an answer that I've been asking for, that Laff was the reason for the first goal. So I guess Lafreniere then is the one who iced the puck there for no reason. And you can also, Ed, if you have it up, if you want to tell me if I'm right that he had all the time in the world to get to the red line to dump the puck in, why he did it where he did was weird to me. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're good. This is episode 204. Really, this is the first episode of the actual season. It's crazy that we're already talking panic button and it's game 1.
We're not. You are.
I see panic in the screen. I see panic in the comments. All over the comments, people are throwing in the towel already.
No. This is you because you want to play with this button thing that you have. That drives me nuts. By the way, that's from Staples, right?
Yeah.
That's the old Staples panic button?
That was easy. This is the panic version.
Okay. So the Rangers tomorrow night go to Buffalo.
Yeah.
And Saturday night in Pittsburgh.
How are they looking?
Buffalo. For the next Buffalo's terrible.
So we should have points before next episode. We should have points on the board before next episode.
Let me explain something to you with what you just said there. If next Wednesday they have 0 points, meaning they're 0-5,
you're gonna press
I'm not gonna let you push the button. Or as Dennis is saying, they'll be 0-4-1 with 1 point. If next week they are 0-5, and again, I do not think they're going to be 0-5 next week. So, but let's say they were, because they could very easily lose to Washington and Edmonton. Like I predicted them to lose both those games in our monthly predictions, actually, after I predicted them to win last night. How do I look this morning? But if they were 0-5, like the people, and I know there's a lot of you that like when I go ballistic and I like lose my mind, you would want to tune in next Wednesday if they were 0-5.
Dennis wants to make
there's a by the way, there is a meme out there.
Yeah.
I think it's actually from a Vancouver Canucks website this morning floating around. It's great. It was something like the Rangers are on pace to score 0 goals this season. It was like, I forgot what the question was that they asked with it, but I saw it and I'm like, you know what? I gotta tip my hat and laugh. Now Dennis is pretty convinced. We'll put up his comment that next Wednesday when we're on, they will be 0-4-1. He can write it down. Dennis lives like me, where I forgot who I said this to. So it was recently in the last few days. I don't remember where I was, but I was like, I am the ultimate pessimist. Like if you told me the Rangers were up 3-0 in the series 2 years ago to Carolina, I'm like, they're going to lose game 4. They're going to lose game 5, and they're going to lose in 7. And then they lost game 4 and they lost game 5. And I was like, well, here you go. Speaking of that game, now they won game 6 because of Chris Kreider's hat trick. If I see anything else today, because the day is still young, what is it, 10:37 in the morning?
Mm-hmm.
If I see anything else this morning about, how does it feel now that you don't have Chris Kreider? If you think they lost last night because Chris Kreider isn't on the team, you can just go unfollow us. Like I'm not even going to deal with this, right? So, all right. So before we shift to football, and you all get annoyed at me for doing that, next week we'll be on Wednesday again. They are at Buffalo tomorrow night.
Definitely tune in. Definitely tune in.
If they again, I'm going to tell you this, if they are 0-5 next week, it becomes you do want to tune in, because I will be in a mood like you wouldn't, and because it would just have happened because they played Tuesday night versus Edmonton. They could. Connor McDavid, who also re-signed, and something I wanted to talk about today, and we'll talk about it in a minute before we shift to football. Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl next week, the way that they look defensively at times, they might score 6 goals each next Tuesday. You would be, if next Tuesday comes, that game, and you see the same sort of thing that you saw last night, you might want to hit the player props and hit the over on everything. And then it's the same. McDavid will have 6 points. Next Tuesday's a weird game because I'm debating a little bit whether I should go. So my plan is we're going Sunday because I thought the kids didn't have school on Monday, and turns out one of them has a half day. But so we're going to go Sunday. And then I was thinking, like, maybe myself, do I use my tickets? Don't bring the wife and kids because it's during the week. Look, I can always find someone to go with. I would go with someone on Tuesday. But now after last night, I'm like, yeah, you know what? If I'm going Sunday, that might be enough. I don't know that I want to see them play it.
Wow. Don't even want to go to the games.
I didn't say, that's not what I said. I'm going Sunday. But I'm being selective at the moment of when I go.
Yeah.
Connor McDavid re-signs last week. One thing that is happening, and I think I saw it. Something happened about an hour ago with the Rangers that I haven't seen anyone talk about. Next summer, as we all know, it's been billed for a while, is the summer of the good free agents, the summer of 2026. With this past summer, 2025, not being a good crop of free agents. Next summer, you had
Eichel.
Well, that's where we're going to go. You had Connor McDavid. That's now gone. You had Kirill Kaprizov in Minnesota. That's now gone. And I saw today someone posted, I was here, so it had to been in the last hour when I saw it, that Kyle Clifford was a name that was going to be on the list. He re-signed this morning in Winnipeg. So now you're going to have all this money that Chris Drury is going to try and fix whatever is wrong this year.
With no one out there to get.
And not a lot to get. That would be a problem.
Yeah. So you planned all this time.
But you mentioned Jack Eichel.
Yeah.
And Jack Eichel would be probably number one on the list right now because the other ones are tied up.
But based on yesterday's television talks about it, they both sides seem they're happy and going to make a deal.
Who? Jack Eichel?
Yeah.
Oh, that's not good either.
Yeah.
So now Brett is saying no one wants Eichel, and you can put up Brett's comment, which I was not a Jack Eichel fan years ago when he was a free agent, or when the Rangers were trying to get him from Buffalo because he had that really weird neck injury. But if you have money to spend, and by the way, Jack Eichel is a Boston University product, as am I, but I only played intramural broomball there. I didn't play collegiate hockey. There's a big difference. When I say we went, we did play on the same ice. I was on there midnight on my using pillow polo. He was on skates. But anyway, we all know Chris Drury's a BU guy. David Quinn is a BU guy. Mike Sullivan's a BU guy. Jack Eichel is a BU guy.
Yeah.
I don't know. Play detective here, everyone. Like, call one to another. All right. I don't want to talk about, and Panarin is on that list too as a free agent, correct. They're going to have to, you know what? All this other stuff, you're going to have to re-sign Panarin, which is going to drive Chris nuts. But you're going to have, if all these other people are unavailable and they've re-signed, how are you not re-signing Panarin?
Is he going to go team friendly?
No, he's not going to go team friendly.
He's going to take all the money that we just saved?
He's not going to take money. So Ranger opening night, because it's now 10:40 in the morning, started 14 and a half hours ago. Yeah. And I literally need, like, my mind needs a break. I don't really drink, so I'm not leaving here and going to drink. I'm leaving here.
What I'm saying. It's the first game.
So
they gave us nothing.
Let's go. I have an idea.
Yeah.
Let's go to another positive subject. Let's turn it around and talk about the Giants and the Jets.
There's a panic button.
The New York Jets. Let's start here.
Oh, that's a shame.
yesterday, I think it was the fan was talking about this, and I at first I was like, yeah, that's kind of rude, but then I'm like, nah, I don't know that it isn't.
Mm-hmm.
Aaron Glenn,
Mm-hmm.
0-5.
Yeah.
Bad 0-5. They could have won the Pittsburgh game. They lost on a 60-yard field goal.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, they got blasted by the Bills, which made my wife happy. So at least it was a positive there.
Mm-hmm.
Then they actually could have won in Tampa. They should have won in Tampa and lost.
Mm-hmm.
Then they lost to the Dolphins, who were terrible, and got blown out by the Cowboys. Is Aaron Glenn going to be the coach next year? Like, is that a guarantee? I'm not saying he shouldn't, but now I'm not so sure it's a guarantee.
Well, like I said, I think it was 2.
By the way, did you go Sunday to the Jets game?
No, I went to the Giant game. I only went to the Giant game, Jackson Dart's first game, and there's a 90% chance I'm going tomorrow.
So what let me get this straight. Hold on.
Yeah.
Between the two teams,
yes,
I think I figured it out.
What?
B-Rock, work with me here. They've each played 5 games. We've had 10 New York games played.
Yeah, but they're not all home.
I didn't say that.
Okay.
Hold on. So out of the 10 games, New York has won only 1 game.
Yes.
What is different about that 1 game than all the other 9?
Oh, I like where you're going with.
Yeah.
I was there.
You were there. So your record
tell that to
is
Adrian.
1-0 at the Giants and the Jets.
I am 1-0 right now, yes.
Now, Ed Maturko, who's in the comments, is a Jets season ticket holder.
Yeah.
I hope he didn't go last night. I really hope. I mean, last night against the Cowboys.
Yeah.
So you're going tomorrow night.
Which was a painful game because, like, they were getting their butts kicked, and then they miraculously got like 22 points in the last.
The score was not as close. It was not anywhere close to what the score is.
Buccaneers game's a heartbreaker. Dolphins game's a heartbreaker. Bills, you got blown out. Steelers is a
winnable
game.
So in the picks, because we're going to get to my picks in a minute, but one of my picks last week was the Giants plus 2.5 in New Orleans. Now on Sunday, I'm trying to think of why. Oh, I know why. I was home Sunday.
Yeah.
So I actually watched the Giants Saints game. I never really sit down. Football's different for me. I don't really ever sit down and watch a full game.
Mm-hmm.
But I did. I was watching the Giants in New Orleans because my son was upstairs. My wife and my daughter were out. And they were up 14-3. And I'm like, wow, that plus 2.5 bet is going to hit. And Jackson Dart is marching down the field, darting around. And then, like, I kind of got distracted, and I looked at the score later on. What was it, 26-14 or something?
5 turnovers in a row.
Yeah, that's not going to work.
And one of them was like a pick 6. One was a fumble for 6. So, like, it was just ugly, and they just couldn't stop the bleeding.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping, and the Saints are like one of the worst teams in the league. So, like, you hope that was just a fluke. You wanted to build momentum off Jackson Dart's first game. Hopefully, a big rivalry tomorrow night with the Eagles on Thursday Night Football, and I feel like tomorrow night is a make or break this season.
Jeff Adelson, and we'll pull up his comment there at the bottom. He wants me to talk about tomorrow night's Eagle at Giants Thursday Night Football game.
Yeah.
Here's the insight I'm going to
give.
give.
Is he going to be there?
No, he's in Miami.
He's not coming to New York?
Here's what I'm going to say, and Dennis, who's watching in the chat, and Ed will like this also. I realized I have a hockey game tomorrow night at 6:45, and I didn't realize that the Giants are playing the Eagles at, 8 o'clock?
Yeah.
So that's going to be real fun driving because the rink is about 4 minutes from the stadium. The Giants are not winning tomorrow night. I'd love to be wrong. I hate the Eagles more than any team out there. Actually, definitely. Well, it's surpassed the Patriots for sure. I don't have a reason at the current moment to hate the Patriots, even though my wife, being a Bills fan, is not thrilled at the moment with the Patriots over the weekend. But the Giants are not, and I think they're +7. I'm actually maybe a little surprised it's not more. Also, I don't think that you would, for the Giants, it's ideal that the Eagles are coming off a loss now, which they are.
Yeah, so they're going to be pissed. It's a big rivalry. We should be pissed. We played terrible. We lost a winnable game.
You should be pissed. You played terrible for 7 years.
Well, yeah. Yeah, 100%.
Are you tailgating? Wait a second. The weather tomorrow night is going to be cold. Your
be like 40 degrees.
Yeah, but you're tailgating
some hot toddies.
Yeah, this is what you're known for.
Yeah.
So I'm going to announce it now. Doug Friedman, the only man of New York football who's undefeated, who is 1-0 at games this year.
Let me find out where we're going to be in the tailgate. I think it's L7. Let's find out here.
He will be in attendance. So our week 5 picks last week, we had It was close. We were 2-3. We had a losing week. Let me give you the two we had right. We had the Vikings -3.5 against Cleveland, and we barely got that at -4. We won that, and we won Tampa +3 in Seattle. They won the game outright. I had the Giants wrong. I told you +2.5 in New Orleans was wrong. I was wrong on the Bengals +10 at Lions. B-Rock and I debated that, so congratulations to B-Rock in the corner there. And the Eagles -3.5 at home versus Denver. That did not hit. Denver came back there at the end. The Eagles were up most of that game. So here are our week 6 picks for MYPB. I like Dallas -3.5 at Carolina. I'm buying Dak Prescott. They are the number 1 offense in the NFL. Carolina is not good. 3.5 is not a lot of points to cover when your offense is good, and Carolina's offense is not good. So I'm taking Dallas -3.5 at Carolina. I'm taking the Saints +3.5 at home. I'm sorry to our producer B-Rock, who's a Pats fan in the corner, but the Pats have to have a little bit of a letdown after winning in Buffalo. And the Saints are home. I'm taking the Saints +3. They're getting points. This next game I love. I love the Jags -1.5 at Seattle. It's not that I love the Jaguars at 4-1. I mean, they've been good. It's the fact that Seattle's not good and they got to fly across the country and the Jags are only giving 1.5. Give me the Jaguars -1.5. I like the Bengals +14 at Green Bay. Will the Bengals win this game? No. However, they just traded for Joe Flacco. The offense will be a little bit better. Green Bay doesn't have an offense that'll kill you. The 14 points is a lot. Give me the Bengals +14 at Green Bay. And last, I feel like I have to pick this game because it's probably the best game of the week and probably one of the better games on the schedule all year, and that is the Lions at Kansas City. I'm taking the Lions +2.5. The Lions already proved to you they can go into an AFC team and win. They did in Baltimore a couple weeks ago. And are we now at the point yet? Like at some point we're going to get there. Maybe we're there now. Maybe we're never going to be there. I don't know. But at some point, Kansas City is not Kansas City anymore. Just like we're seeing Baltimore not being Baltimore. Kansas City the other night, I watched that game versus Jacksonville only because nothing else was on TV at all sports-wise. There was nothing on Monday night, so I watched it. I was totally unimpressed, and I'm watching Kansas City's offense for fantasy purposes, for my own personal gain in my matchup I had. This is not the same team.
Yeah,
I'm like watching this game. I'm like, what is going on? So
you're getting points.
Yeah, I'm taking the Lions +2.5. So to recap, I'm taking Dallas -3.5 at Carolina. I'm taking the Saints +3 at home versus the Patriots. The Jaguars -1.5 in Duval down there at home in Jacksonville against Seattle. I like the Bengals in Green Bay +14 and the Lions in Arrowhead Stadium +2.5.
I must say, especially after the performance the Patriots, did to the best team in the league right now, the Bills. You're going to tell me they're going to beat the Bills and the next week lose to the worst team?
What? It's possible.
I mean, come on.
I'm not saying lose. They're getting points.
-3.
I'm getting points. The Patriots are not that good.
I'm not saying they're the best, but they just beat the Bills, and you're going to tell me after beating the Bills they're going to lose to the worst team.
I didn't say lose. +3.
Okay, and then another one you left off the table.
We have to pick. Well, we have
the Colts game. Arizona Cardinals. The Colts are on a rampage, scoring 40+ points a game. -6. I don't think the Cardinals are any good.
We have to pick the New York games, and then we'll get out of here. So let's see. The Giants tomorrow night +7.
Yeah,
at home versus the Eagles.
Meet me at L7
for Doug's Hottie Toddies.
Hottie Toddies at L7.
I'm taking the Eagles -7. Why would I? What would give me any indication that? And Dennis is right. Daniel Jones is who is leading the offensive charge in the comments.
Indiana Jones.
All right, so I'm taking the Eagles -7. The Jets are they're in London. Oh my God. They're playing Denver +7.5.
It was not bad.
You know what? I'm going to take the Jets +7. I'm not going to take them to win. Here's why.
Wow.
Sometimes these overseas games, if you look in Europe, they can be kind of close. I don't know why. Maybe that's the jet lag. I don't know. Jet lag. Get it? Jet lag. I don't know. And Denver also, I'm going to use the same theory on New England. Big, huge, road win last week. It's a come down game a little bit. 7.5 is a coverage touchdown plus an extra half point. I'm taking the Jets. So I'm taking the Jets +7.5 and the Eagles -7. And you are doing what, sir?
Oh, for the Jet game?
Yeah.
No. Didn't the Broncos beat Kansas City too?
No.
Denver just won some.
They won in Philly. They just won in Philly.
Oh yeah, there it is. Yeah, they're gonna whoop the Jets. I'm sorry.
So you're going to. So we're going totally. You're taking the Giants +7, or you're taking?
Oh, are we going for both teams?
Yeah.
All right. So
I want to know. I'm taking the Eagles -7 and the Jets +7.5. You're taking.
I'm going to take the Giants because I'm going to be there. I need something to root for. I'm gonna take. I'm sorry, the Broncos. The Jets just don't. They find a way to lose.
Yeah, well,
they find a way to lose. You got to find a way to win. That's the goal. Find a way to win.
I don't know with either of the Giants or Jets. I'm not a football guy at all, as you probably know from my picks. I don't know how like it gets better. That's the concern. Is like next year, does it get better? It's been like this for a while with both teams. I mean, the Jets haven't made the playoffs. I explained to my daughter the other day, and she was kind of like confused at this, but I'm like, no, it's actually really true, Abby. The Jets, your entire life, you've now been alive for 14 years. They've never made the playoffs once in your entire life. Yeah. And it's not like, well, you were 4 and you don't remember it. No. Like they actually, you've never been alive. They made
that time frame.
They made the
We're not asking for a Super Bowl win. Just make the playoffs.
Or give like some hope.
Yeah. This is bad. 0-5 is bad.
Well, good thing for the Giants, they have the undefeated Doug Friedman coming to MetLife tomorrow night. I tell you, if it happens tomorrow night, if for somehow the Giants win,
be pissed.
Well, your wife will be mad.
Yes.
But you guys out there should start getting like a GoFundMe. GoFundMe to get him in. And Dennis is right. New York area teams are a mess. The only New York team right now that is good is the Knicks. And the Knicks, and we'll cover them eventually, if they go somewhere this year, and I hope they are, we all know I'm a Knicks season ticket holder, they had Jason Tatum is out for the year in Boston and Halliburton's out for the year in Indiana. I mean, like, you've got to be able to beat those teams. It's you in Cleveland. One of you is winning. So, all right. We thank DraftKings as always for their sponsorship as well as the Bamboozle Project. You go to the bamboozleproject.com to use promo code MYPB when you check out. Always super important. Save yourself some money. There's some MYPB gear. I believe there's some new winter gear that should be coming in the next couple of weeks. I do think I did see that the temperature tomorrow is finally going to drop around here. Rangers tomorrow night in Buffalo, Saturday in Pittsburgh, a Sunday at home versus Washington. I should be there. And do not touch it. I see what you're doing over there. And Tuesday at home versus Edmonton. So here's the barometer. We are on next week. All right. If the Rangers, at that point, you could have had 10 possible points. The max at this point in time that they could have is 8. They're not going 4-0. But if they have 3 or less, it's going to not be pretty.
Yeah.
If I'm glad you find this funny. If for any reason they had 0 points,
I can take it out of the box.
You can take it out of the box.
All right.
But this will be an uncensored episode. We're going to have to figure out something. We will actually be doing research in the studio Wednesday morning before we were live as to what.
People already say push the button. It's episode.
We're not pushing it. We're not pushing it. Welcome back to the NHL hockey season. A terrible start again. I feel for you guys that went last night, and we will talk to you next week.
Already talking about the button.